Hello crafty friends, it's Erica, Scrapdiva29. Welcome back to my channel. I am coming on today with a quick tutorial on how to build the base of this tag flip that I recently shared the other day. Several of you requested a tutorial, and here I am, as promised, going to show you how to build the base for this heart tag flip. And it will host this tag flip from the Andy store. And this is the medium-sized tag flip from that collection of tags, nesting tags that I shared the other day. So let's get started. It's super simple and easy to do, and you'll be making your own little tag flip right away. All right, so I'm going to show you the things that you're going to be needing. You will need 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I recommend using 65-pound weight, but you can go thicker if you want to. It's just easier to assemble using a lighter weight cardstock. You will need some chipboard, and this is just medium weight chipboard. I actually have a ton of this chipboard from my magnets that I would buy at Home Depot, that pack of magnets, the vent cover hood magnets that I would just cut up in strips myself. That pack comes with a really long sheet of chipboard inside of it, and I have a ton of them because you guys know I have a ton of dies, and I used to purchase my magnetic strips from Home Depot. So I have this on hand, but feel free to use any chipboard that you have in your stash, and you can get chipboard from scrapbook.com or Amazon. There's lots of different places. I'll leave links to product information down below in case you are looking for something. But you will need 2 pieces of chipboard cut out at 5 by 7 1/4 inch. So you need 2 of those, and you'll need 1 piece of cardboard cut out 2 by 5 inches. Okay, so you will need that, and then you will need, and you can do solid color cardstock, pattern paper, whatever your heart desires, but to cover the inside of the binding, you will need 2 pieces of cardstock. I chose this pattern paper, and you're gonna need 2 sheets of cardstock cut at 7 1/8 inch by 4 7/8 inch. And then you'll need 1 piece of paper cut at 3.5 inches by 4 7/8 inches. And I'll go over it as the measurements as I go. But you will need that. You will need a crocodile or a handheld hole punch to punch your hole for your binder ring. And you will need an eyelets. And you don't necessarily have to use eyelets. If you don't have any, you don't have to. You can just use your crocodile punch and just punch your hole and insert your binder ring. Totally up to you. And then today I am using these 3 adhesives that I purchased from scrapbook.com. I've had them for a while, and you get a ton of it, and it's well worth the investment. And I highly suggest, if you like creating mini albums or any type of base with chipboard, to invest in this tape. This particular tape is, let's see, this is about 3 7/8 inches wide. So it covers a lot of ground. And then this one is how many inches is this one? I think this is it's like almost 2 inches. And then this is just the 1/2 inch tape that you can get. And this one is not from scrapbook.com, but you can get this from a variety of different places. And I really like using this particular tape. It's the Snook Wang, I think that's how you say it. I'm not even sure. But this is a really good high quality tape for making mini albums. I used this on several mini albums that I've made in the past. So anyway, these are the 3 adhesives that I'll be using today. And then I even have my ATG glider, and I brought this down, and I'll show you how I'll use that. But I do sometimes use this on the areas that I don't completely cover. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. We're going to lay it out just like this, the 8.5 inch length facing this way. And we're going to take our score tape, this 1/2 inch score tape right here, and I'm just going to run it along the end of this side to smooth it. And I'm just going to use my scissors to snip it off like so. And then I do have my Spellbinders 2-in-1. This is a very helpful tool when to use to peel off your adhesive. And I use this thing every single day. This tool is a must-have in your stash if you do not have it, especially for die cutting. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your other 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and you're just going to cover the area that you just adhered with that 1/2 inch score tape. And you're just going to use your bone folder and give it a nice, good, smooth smoothing so that it's adhered, okay? So we have that. Next, we're going to bring over our cardstock or our chipboard, and we're going to lay it out just like this. So it will look like this laying down. And I'm just gonna make sure that I'm on frame. Yes, I am, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'll just zoom in just a tad. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to cover our chipboard with adhesive. So for this 2.5 by 11, I am going to take the 2-inch scrapbook.com adhesive, and I'm just going to cover this strip just like so. And I just use my scissors to snip it off. Use your fingers to press it down, and then your pokey tool to help release the adhesive, like so. If you get any adhesive that's over, I just use my finger and flip it up, just like that. And then I'm gonna take this and just center it right here in the center of the purple cardstock. And I just eyeball the center. It does not have to be perfect. Press down, like so. The next thing you're gonna do is cover your 5 by 7 1/4 inch chipboard, and that's what we're gonna do to both of them. And this is where I use this this tape right here. This will save you so much time. And I just kind of line it up as best as I can, like so. When I get towards the end, I just take my scissors and cut. Smooth it down so that it is adhered to your board. And then I'm going to go back in with this score tape, the 1/2 inch, and cover up the remaining chipboard that I did not cover with the big one. It's okay if it overlaps because it will peel up with no problem. So I'm just going to adhere that down, take back the adhesive with my tool, and be very careful. This adhesive is extremely tacky. I'm just saying, it's very, very tacky. So just be careful not to touch it. If you touch it, it will stick to you. So try not to touch it if possible. So there is that. And I have a little bit of adhesive that's hanging over, and I just flip it up on this side. And then right here, I don't know if you can see, I don't have a little adhesive right there, and that's okay. I just take my ATG and just run a strip down just like that, just to make sure that it has some adhesive on it. And then what I'm going to do is I just eyeball it. You can use a ruler, or you can take a piece of chipboard if you want and stick it right here, and then space it like this to figure out your little crease in between your spine. I just eyeball it, and I just, you know, kind of look at it and see. You just want to leave a little bit of space so that you can fold your album in and upward. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is all going to be covered, and no one's really going to tell. And so I'm gonna go back and cover this sheet right here with the adhesive and do the other side. Lay this down, grab my scissors, press down, and use your bone folder, give it a good crease. And then I'm gonna go back in with this 1/2 inch tape and do this side. And just cut it at the end. Again, using my bone folder just to make sure that it's adhered down. And then I use my Spellbinder's pokey tool and it release the paper. See how easy that is to use that really wide adhesive? It covers so much ground on your chipboard. And I covered this one pretty good. I am gonna go back on this side and just add a little bit of HEG on the end. And I will do a little bit on this side as well. And I will go ahead and eyeball it on this side. And I guess it's about 1/8 of an inch. It's not much, but you just wanna make sure that it's lined up and that you have a little space in between your spine. And then I just take my bone folder and press down on all of the pieces of chipboard. I think that is good. And then what I like to do is I like to use my bone folder and I just use the point and I go in and just kind of score it. Score my paper, and I'm doing that around all sides of the paper. And this helps with just folding the paper in. And I'm just going to do that on this side and then again on this side. Okay, so that'll allow me to crease my paper like so. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work the paper a little bit on all sides. And when you use your scoring tool, that really does help with the paper, just kind of working it in like so. So what I do is, this is a little bit long on the ends. I just trim it a little bit because you don't necessarily need that much. So I just take about 1 inch off the end of each side. Because you don't really need that much, and it's okay if it's uneven. And then again, this is fine. I trim off a little bit on this side as well, because you really don't need this much to cover up your chipboard. And again, I'm just cutting a little bit off, maybe about 1 inch. And I guess you could do this step before you put your chipboard down. I just normally do it after. And I'm happy with that. So what I like to do is on each corner, I just take my scissors and all I'm doing is like a round, like half circle, like so. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just doing like a half circle on each corner. Again, I'll do that again over here. And then again on this one. And then I'll put that off to the side. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to adhere my score line, my score tape to the ends, because I like to do this side first. So I'm going to adhere my score tape here, use my scissors to snip, and some more tape right here, and then I'll snip that off. I'll press down, use this bone folder, make sure that it's adhered. And now I'm gonna come over here and do this side. So far, pretty simple. I think you guys can handle this. And there we go for this side. Use my bone folder, give it a good crease. That's good. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna just go ahead and use the score tape and do the panel, the flap on this side, all the way down, because this is the side will fold next. But we'll go ahead and get the adhesive on and get this out of the way. There. So we've got that. Again, give it a good crease with your bone folder. And I really do like this bone folder that I picked up. I've shared this bone folder. I recently had picked it up off of Amazon, and it's a high quality Teflon bone folder, and I love it. I think it was like maybe 10 bucks. It was inexpensive, and I really do like the quality of it. Let me go ahead and finish adhering the score tape on this side. And I guess I'm just doing this real time with you guys so you can see my complete process. And then I'm going to go ahead and use bone folder, press this down. And I'm just going to use my ATG on this last little strip. All right, so now I'm going to take my tool and take the adhesive off of the ends, and just going to fold down and use my bone folder and give it a good press. And then I'm going to come on this side and do the same thing. Take that off. Take this off. Kind of push it in if you need to, if you have the adhesive hanging. Give it a good press with your bone folder. And now we're going to take off the adhesive on this side. And we're going to fold it over. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a good press with my tool. Just make sure that it's adhered good. All right, and now we'll do this side. Take that off, and then last little adhesive right here. Fold any excess adhesive inward, and I just take it in and press. And bone folder in. And like I said, it doesn't really matter if this is uneven. If you cut it uneven, it's going to get covered up. So do not worry about that. All right. So then what I like to do is I do like to just go over this little score line right here and right here. And I just kind of like to work the paper a little bit. See how I just do a little bit at a time. And it just helps work that crease right there. And that's pretty good. So see how that's forming? Super simple, right? Okay, so let's get our other pieces of cardstock. We're gonna take the 2 pieces of cardstock, and these are slightly smaller than the cover, 7 1/8 by 4 7/8 inches. And we're going to cover this side, and then we're gonna cover this side, and then we're gonna take this centerpiece and cover the middle, like so. All right, so again, I'm going to use my wide tape and press down. Grab your scissors and cut like that. And then take your 1/2 inch, cover up what you didn't cover. That should be good. Take your bone folder, give it a good crease. And then you can take the adhesive off, like so. And any adhesive that's hanging over, just push it over. And I'm going to take my ATG and just kind of get this little edge that did not have adhesive on it. And now I'm going to place this making sure that all the adhesive is over. Just going to place this right here, and I just kind of eyeball it and make sure that it's centered before I press it down. That looks good to me. If you get any outside, you can just rub it off. That's the nice thing about this adhesive. And I'm just using my score tool to give it a good crease, make sure that it's adhered very nicely. And now I'm gonna go to this side and do the same thing. And see how much time you save using this wide adhesive. I mean, it's amazing. I love it. Highly recommend you guys get some of this, and you get a huge roll. So it'll last you for a good amount of time, for sure. Take this 1/2 inch, go ahead and cover up this spot right here. And I'll just go ahead and use ATG on that side. Sometimes it's nice to have a little piece to help you peel it away where it's not sticky. And then you can just go in with your ATG and make sure that you have adhesive right there. Like that, that's good. All right, so now I'm going to cover this side, and again, just kind of centering it. And I just eyeball it, but just kind of make sure that it's centered. Take your score tool, give it a good crease. And then we're going to take our center, which is right here, and adhere it. So I'm going to use this 2-inch tape right here. Give it a cut. Then I'll take the 1/2 inch. Snip it and go ahead and finish it off. Probably should have did 3. That's okay. I'll just use the ATG in between. Take this off and this off. I'm going to use my ATG where I did not have the adhesive. And I'm going to make sure that I get the corners, because you want to make sure that it's adhered nicely. You don't want anything raising up on you. All right, that's good. So now I'm just going to take this and center it in the middle of the spine, like so. Use your bone folder, give it a good crease. And then what I like to do is just kind of crease it, then use your bone folder in the center and just work your paper in. And the same thing, just kind of figure out where your crease is, take your bone folder, crease it in. So that's good, okay? So now you have the spine of your base, or the base of your flip book, like so. The last thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're going to poke your hole. So you're gonna use your hole punch, and you're gonna find the center. And if you remember, this is the 5-inch side. So 1/2 of 5 inches is 2.5 inches. And you can always use your ruler if you need to, and just measure it out. Figure out where you're going, how far down you're going to place your hole. And I'm looking at this one right here, and it looks like I went about maybe like 1 inch or so. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to use my pokey tool, and I'm just going to poke a little hole right there so I know where to poke, use the hole punch. So I'm just going to get my hole punch, and I am going to poke the hole if I can find it. And make sure I'm centered, and I think that's good. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Again, use your ruler about 1/2 inch down I'm gonna use a pen this time so I can see the, the dot a little bit better. Take your hole punch. Yes, that was better. Definitely use a pen. Something that you can see. And just make sure that that pokes out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my eyelets. And this is the bag that I had gotten off of Allie. And I'm just going to grab 2 eyelets and 2 little washers. And I'm going to set it. Uh-oh, I'm losing all my eyelets. All right. Let me put these off to the side. I'm making a mess. Okay, so put those off to the side. I want the eyelet to show on the outside. So you're gonna stick it in from this side right here. Then you're going to lay it down and you're going to place your little washer on top of your eyelet, like so. And then you're going to want to bring over your eyelet setter. And you're just going to give it a firm press down and slide it off. And there you have your eyelet on this side. And now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Stick that in. Stick the little washer in. And slide your eyelet over. Uh-oh. Make sure that it's in properly. It's like, it is magnetic, so. All right, that's in. Make sure that you have it in place. Push down, and you should be set. So there it is. So now you can take your jump ring and stick it in your hole. Run it through, and there you go. Voila, you have your base for your mini album. I hope that this made sense. I hope that I was on frame. Oh my goodness. If you have any questions, let me know. Super simple and easy to do. I hope you guys give this a try. If you do, tag me on Instagram or send me a DM and show me what you created. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Check the description box below for product information. And I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.